and welcome to this episode of Neighbors Cooking. I am your chef and host, Mitch, the Recipe King. I have been gone for about a year. We haven't been doing any shows, and predominantly that's just because there's been a lot of family issues going on. I lost my dad, I lost my mom, I lost my stepdad, all in the matter of 2 years. So it's been a really tough journey, but I am back and we are ready to go. We're in new kitchens. I moved after all of these changes that happened in my life, and we are in a new kitchen now in my new house in Palm Springs, so I am loving it. I hope that you guys will be able to see everything well enough. We're going to continue to develop and work on the cameras if they need to be improved upon. But for right now, we're going to get into making chicken sausage spaghetti bolognese. Now, what is the difference between spaghetti bolognese and just a red sauce spaghetti? And I'm going to tell you the main difference is that there is cream or milk in a spaghetti bolognese, which you of course won't find in a regular spaghetti sauce. In fact, that's one of the main ingredients in a regular spaghetti bolognese is milk. We're going to be substituting it out for something to get a little less calories in it. So this recipe that we're making is based on 2 people eating. If you want to double the recipe, just double it up to make it for 4. You can even go in half if you're just that sole cooker in your house and the only one living there and you're cooking for yourself. This is a super easy and healthy recipe for you to do just for you also. It really doesn't require a lot of ingredients. So let's look through those ingredients right now. We're going to use 1 or 2 zucchinis. We're going to use 12 ounces of fresh pasta, or you can use the dried pasta, whichever you prefer. We're going to use 18 ounces of chicken sausage, 28 ounces of crushed red tomatoes. Now, I like to use a good Italian crushed tomato, but you can use anything that you see in the store. We're going to also be adding a chicken stock. Now, I use a chicken stock that is from More Than Gourmet. It's actually better, I think, than, I'm going to give you a look at it here. It's actually better than using bouillon cubes. It's not as salty. There's not as much salt. This is actually just a reduced actual chicken stock. They also come in veal and a beef, so it's great for adding some amazing flavor. I'm also adding some red peppers into this. Roasted red peppers, you don't have to if you don't like them, but I kind of like the added little spice. We're going to have some Parmesan cheese, some sour cream, some Italian herbs, butter, salt, and pepper. So let's go ahead and get this started. The first thing we want to make sure we're doing is getting our water going. So I already have some water boiling back here. We're going to get it up to a boil. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my front stove, my front oven, just on a low heat and start getting that going. And I'm going to put just a little drizzle of olive oil in it. Not a lot. All right. And I'm going to get just a little tool that I have that I love when I'm using a sausage or a ground beef. And it helps to cut up when you're cooking it. So it's kind of got this little angle on it. Here you can see it. And when you're using it, you're crushing into your meat. So it makes it much easier when you're cooking sausage, hamburger meat, things like that. So let's start off with what we're going to do. We've already got the water coming to a boil. I want to be sure and add lots of salt into that. Don't be shy on salt when it comes to your pasta water. And when you drain your pasta later on, I want you to reserve some of that water. And the reason for that is sometimes the sauce can be a little bit too thin, and the starch water from the pasta actually will help to thicken up that sauce. So save some of that water before you drain it all out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut up our zucchini. All right, so I like to cut what we're going to use up into about, 1/2-inch slices. And we're going to cut all those all the way through. Now, there's a couple ways to prepare the zucchini. You can either prepare it on on in a broiler. Just put it on a lined broiling sheet and throw it under the broiler for 5 or 7 minutes. In my case, I'm going to use my air fryer. I just prefer using an air fryer. There we go. And so I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put all of the zucchini on here. Just lay it out in layers. All right. We're going to add a little bit of salt over the top of them and a little bit of pepper. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and just add this into my air fryer. At about 350 degrees. Whatever, there we go. 350 degrees for about 7 minutes. For about 7 minutes. So while we've got the zucchini cooking, we're going to go ahead and start getting our meat, our sausage, our Bolognese sauce made. So we're going to go ahead and take our chicken sausage and we're going to put it into the pan that we already have a little bit of olive oil in. And we're just going to go ahead and start cutting that up with our tool. So the important thing when you're cooking at home, and it is important to cook at home for your family or even if it's just for you, is just from a health standpoint, you want good, clean ingredients that you're using. Not a lot of calories, not a lot of salt in the foods that you're cooking. And if you do that, you're going to be far healthier, you're going to feel better, and your general overall health is going to improve. You know, I know we can't all cook every night, but what I do is on the weekends, for instance, on a Saturday or Sunday, I'll run to the store, I'll put my list together for what I'm going to cook for that day, and I'll go ahead and just get everything I need. I'll do all my prep in advance, so I'll cut everything up and I'll get it all going. And it just makes it quicker and easier for me during the week. I can just pull out the recipe, out the menu ingredients, and go to town. So I'm going to go ahead and keep getting this going. Sometimes cooking can be very noisy, especially when you're trying to do it in the kitchen and keep the sound quality there for you. So we've got that cooking. I've got my water almost to a boil. I like to use fresh pasta, and the only reason I like to use fresh pasta is it cooks faster. I just prefer it. So if you're going to cook this pasta, I just buy it fresh from the store. It's made by Buitoni. You can see that, yeah, there we go. And it cooks in 2 minutes. It's simple. And I just like fresh pasta. It's the next best thing. And regular pasta, if you're doing the dehydrated pasta, it takes a long time to cook depending on the type it is. So this is real quick. It will be done in a couple of minutes once we get it in there. So you're going to want to kind of pull it apart so that it doesn't get too terribly stuck together. Pull it apart. In the boiling water it goes. And voila. So that'll be in about 2 minutes. That will be ready. And then we're just going to have to put our sauce together. So the sauce is super simple. As I said before, all we're doing for the sauce is we're adding the tomatoes, salt, sour cream, butter, some Italian seasoning, and some chicken stock. which is right there. All right, so first things first, we're going to get back over to our sausage. So I think we've got our sausage nicely cooked. We're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper into the mix. All right. The next thing I'm going to add in is the Italian seasoning and the red peppers. I'm just going to put it right into the pan. The Italian seasoning. And the whole recipe is on Neighbors Cooking, on our Facebook page, Neighbors Cooking, Instagram at Real Neighbors Cooking, and on YouTube at Neighbors Cooking. The ingredient lists are listed on all of those, along with the recipe and how to do this. So while that continues, the last thing I want to add into, not the last thing, but the next thing is the chicken stock. I'm going to add that in. And the chicken stock is very concentrated, so you don't need to put a whole lot. So be careful when you're adding that in. Get that going to a nice brown. We're going to go ahead and add in the Bolognese, or the crushed tomatoes. Stir that together. Lower your heat down to about low heat, 2 if you're on a gas stove, 2 or 3 on electric. And you're just going to let that go ahead and simmer up while our zucchini is cooking and our pasta is cooking. One of the things I like about cooking in the kitchen and sharing recipes is to show people that it's easier. When I first started doing my shows, I was about 50 pounds heavier a couple of years ago, and I realized I needed to lose some weight. COVID was going on, and so I decided the best option was to do it in the kitchen. And since I couldn't go to the gym and I needed to really watch what I was eating, and what I discovered is I loved eating clean, healthy food again. I'm French trained, and I would go crazy with butter and sauces and everything else. So I like to try and eat as healthy and as clean as I can every single day. So let's check on these zucchinis, see how they're doing. All right, a couple more minutes on those. And our sauce is simmering away here. Let me show you kind of what the sauce looks like. So we've got this beautiful sauce. And now we're going to finish this sauce off with our butter, 2 tablespoons, and our sour cream. There we go. And we're going to blend all of that together. So you kind of get a look when you add that sour cream and that butter of almost like a vodka sauce, but not a vodka sauce. All right. So we've got that all blended together. The last thing we need to add into it is our zucchini. So let me get that out. All right. I'm just going to put these on my tray. And I'm going to cut all of these in half. You don't want soggy zucchini. The reason we grill it or we broil it is just to get a little bit of a crisp on it. And it gives you a little bit of crisp when you eat it. All right. There we go. And we're going to add all of this right into our sauce. Stir it in. Oh, yes. I wish you could smell this. It smells so incredibly good, but we're going to be enjoying it in just a minute. So I've got, the last thing we need is our pasta. It's just about done. And as I said before, you want to reserve a little bit of the water that you have here that's from the pasta. So I'm going to get a little ladle. I'm just going to take about a ladle of it out, or two. And we're going to save that to help make the sauce thicker if we need to make the sauce thicker. We've got our pasta. There we go. All right, so let's get it served up. So first things first, I'm going to mix the pasta in with the Bolognese sauce. There we go. Look how nice that looks. All right, here we go. I'm just going to put a little in the drawer, get it blended up, and in the bowl it goes. Our sauce. And we're going to add our Parmesan cheese on top. And there you have it. A delicious spaghetti bolognese fit for a king or a queen. So I hope that you enjoy this recipe. Please be sure and follow us on Facebook. Like us down below. And if you have any other recipes or things that you would like us to bring on the show, shoot us a message and we'll be happy to consider it. We love suggestions for future shows. So thanks, and if you make this, be sure and leave some comments for us so we know that you liked it. That's about my show today. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching Neighbors Cooking, and we'll see you next time in the kitchen. Bye-bye.